Well, hello people, it's Benedetta. I'm GDP, back with another drawing project of something new. Wait, what? It's not just drawing project, but the newness, it's not that new. I'm just making another comics, or manga to be correct. So yeah, if you watch me, I don't know how often I said it, but I often react the verses, manga by one, which is my most favorite manga at the time. Honestly, it's my hyperfixation. Didn't have this for a while, but man, I bloody like this manga and I check every chapter, see it at Reddit, actually make some stuff for Reddit, like this one, and almost nothing else. So yeah, because first is my favorite manga, I decided to make a little bit art, upload it on Reddit. Actually, first time I upload it on Reddit, usually I just sit on Reddit and watch some stuff, but I'm now actually upload some stuff. How often I will do that? I don't know, just whenever I have a mood. That was like the drawing. Okay, maybe I start the drawing right now, because again, it kind of one of those drawings where I don't really have much to say about the drawing process. But if I do, it will be in a moment. So I guess I'm gonna start right now and we'll explain on the go. So my favorite fraction for now, and there's aliens, robot and Lawless. Aliens being because I like how they talk. It's kinda the speech which space travel. And I know stuff about space travel. And because I have awareness of space travel, they kind of talk in a way like we're looking at alien creatures and, you know, we understand them in alien perspective, like energy control. There's no such thing as magic, there's like different species and they made of something. Then I like the robots. I guess I like robots for evolution. I like evolution, I like to see the concept of fast evolution is my favorite concept, because I'm curious how the species will look, how they would hold up. The adaptation to things is one of the things I like to see. And robots, it's kind of interesting because it's kind of will evolve in unique ways. Again, they look cute and they look dangerous, and kind of interesting how they will look, or how they will adapt. And Lawless, okay, I can't speak it from my least favorite to my most favorite, and for now I have to admit, I bloody like Lawless. I think the reason why I like Lawless is first of all Mad Max. I like Mad Max aesthetic of the broken wall, but society rebuilt it in a different way, just a different wall. And also I like to see how people or apocalypse world who live in apocalypse world react to fast wall. It's kinda in Last of Us Alice was kind of this case of the girl who was born while the apocalypse already was. And she now react to the past world, and again, of course, who live in this past world, and like, to me it's normal things, to her it's not. So it's kinda interesting to see how future react to the past, and how scrub future react to someone from the past. Yeah, for other things, I guess I like Lawless for the fact that they are the weirdest fraction ever. Again, you have all the fraction which is inhuman creature terrorizing humans, but Lawless are just normal humans who terrorize other humans. I guess I always like this faction which weirdest of them all. I like exotic characters. I like characters who have interesting speech pattern, who have interesting appearance and interesting gimmicks. Again, don't starve, I like all inhuman characters. Let me name my favorite characters, and those will probably be inhuman character. Borderlands, it will be Creek and freaking Zero. I think it's Zero. And for other cases, yeah, kind of this case. But another thing I like Lawless is, I guess, because they are gonna be dangerous. Come to me, it's also interesting question how they're gonna be dangerous. Because again, I think there must be some winds pulled totally. So I think with natural enemies there's supposed to be somewhat equal fairish fight. Not that fair. There must be some else pulls and some W's taken. I think with every natural enemies must be that. Obviously, Lawless will pull some wins. I mean, they already pulled some wins. Again, with normal humans, they can do nothing against those. I mean, against them. Normal humans can do nothing against Lawless again because they're natural enemies and the rules are rules. And with Lawless they're able to take some enemies with ease, with enemies with not so much ease. Again, with bears and large targets it's easy, but with some 5 speed and more immense power it can be complicated. I guess it's kind of also be evolution battle. It's kind of I like to think about Lawless, it's kind of how they adapt. Because man, there's also enemies who adapt to the world they're in, and they understand it. And because the world was dead and there was nothing there, and there's now something new there, and like human imagination, human creativity come to full blown after realizing the possibilities. kind of instead of being shooting themselves of fear, there's like a lot of possibility of new weapons and new things which they can use. So honestly, this world merge just turn little heaven for them. Turn world into a little heaven. So I guess it's kinda, yeah, they revive like so much, it's kinda, they hit all these triggers which I like. Yeah, with robots I like adaptation, with aliens I like the speech. With Lawless, it's a combination of lots of things I like. Plus again, I like stories with humans, I like monsters, and we're shown to be exactly as scary as other creatures who live in the world. It's not like monsters are monsters, monsters is just what you do, and humans can be monsters as hell. So yeah. But yeah, actually right now Lawless are kind of dealing with some struggles which you're not able to take on. Again, with all parasitic wurm and again their god appearance. There's little spoilers there, but it's already been a couple of days the manga uploaded, so I can bloody watch it. But yeah, Lawless right now taking some else and they are being defeated. And I kind of still, and I'm still capping, I kind of want them to, because again I want this faction to hold on. I want them to not be just a joke of jokes. I want to be strong, I want them to be scary. I want enemies to actually take them seriously to some extent. And I kinda still capping because I kinda like Rinri. And Rinri is one of those characters who I bloody like a lot. Kinda consuming. Because I kinda also like Vox. Then I also remembering, okay, I remember watching one guy. Kinda make it thought that we like characters who we see. We hate characters who have a bad quality in them, and we like characters who have quality we wish to have. I kinda like Rinri and Vox. In general, I like the idea of this cruel boss who have everything under control and kinda under Iron Fist. Personally, I like those characters. Maybe because I don't really have anything in my control in my life. Kinda to see this boss who just do whatever he wants, have iron grip on people. Kinda inspiring for me. Kinda wish to be that, but also those are villains. They're not exactly good people. But other cases. Rinri right now is my favorite character, and I kinda wish he survive or evolve or become monstrous. Be able to pull up the enemies and to dominate them. And I want to see Lawless to dominate something. I'm Lawless supporter, I want Lawless to pull some wins. So yeah. So for this manga, fanmade manga, I kinda just drawing Rinri parasitic form. It kind of will be spoilers there, but also it is one of those cases where I upload the drawings on social media first and actually making this video. Because usually I'm trying to make a video and I upload everything everywhere. But with Rinri comics I kinda have a deadline when the new chapter appears. Again, I kinda want to predict what's gonna happen. And with new chapter explaining what happened on Rinri, it's kind of the thing I don't want it to happen. So I'm trying to make comics before the chapter drops, because then there will be some new stuff and my predicament will be not true. And kinda still, just God appeared. I kinda did this whole picture where one of the Mecha people saved the prisoners of the Lawless, and then Rinri just mutate and take on this guy and kinda consume him. He's not really seeking consumption, you just see him being grabbed and like crashed. But yeah, I kinda want Rinri to take over the parasite, maybe because of his immense will or immense desire, maybe because he has such self-control. Because again, with Parasite, they cannot able to use the brain of the victim to create some form of intelligence. It's kinda them, not them, it's kinda with Kyokai, who is a weak-willed person, very intense. Kinda losing him, but also kinda recognize some things, but also I think it's not really him, but he's not really aware of his surroundings. I don't know, it's kinda confusing with this one, because he kinda talk, like he usually talk, being cowardly and that stuff, and kinda apologetic to Kyoto. Nah, I'm confusing this. Isangi is like the brother. The Kyoto is this little the Lawless who look like Mad Max character. He can be an apologetic, but doesn't really realize what's going on. But then he can realize what's going on and kind of say he always watches this one. Which cat bloody. It's interesting to what level they are self-aware. But also, it's even interesting on what side they are. Like, is he still a Lawless or he's no parasitic one? Or is he like now new fraction? I guess it's kind of get complicated, or it's gonna make you realize that the fraction doesn't really matter because it's not really about them, it's about I don't know how to say it. I want some good thought to say it. But it's just the whole point of us humans trying to categorize things when we live in a world where nothing makes sense. Like again, it's kinda how we talk constantly talking about what is sentient life, and we have robots and you can wonder, are they sentient life or not? But you can think about, oh no, we humans, this what I would say. We humans have a tendency to categorize things, gender, age, and that stuff, and then can decide to make some rules for these things. What the way it's supposed to be acting, and what has gone on. Or even try to categorize different levels of things. But in reality, you can make rules, but the rules can change. We can in the past women supposed to act like that and do that and wear that. But now we live in a future where the rules changed. And I keep kind of wondering what hurts me to be that, what hurts me to be this. Kind of we also come to make words. I guess a good example would be when I was playing Henry Stickman and I was like crossing the field. But then there's a question, is it actually a pit? And you kind of look in the dictionary and there's like the definition of pit is there. But then you can also put it's this one, this one. You kind of recreate lots of things which don't really exist in the sense of reality. Like, you know, the soul, the karma, that stuff. This stuff could actually not really exist because they're not physical. But we can understand how they are. Kind of with Lawless and with fractions. And I might create a bunch of fractions, and you know, this fraction comes from this world and they come from that world. And we can put them in different fractions. Series I think and versus that whenever there's like a new creature, there's also be a text box with the dimension from, what they are, and the name. And also I'm wondering about this one, like right now with Parasite, it's not just Lawless. They grabbing stuff from different world and kinda merge it. Like with Parasite literally merging like the second stuff from the different world. With Lawless they're using weapons from different world, and again they have giant titans. In the verse there was like this combined fraction thing. I kinda wondering, does fraction even matter anymore? I guess kind of with demons and Sage when they are kind of part of the fraction, they're gonna work together. But with Parasite, it's not really a fraction, it's a creature of this world. And they don't really care about the fraction, they're just doing whatever they do. And they're able to use the brain. But if they're using the brain, let's say a person with strong will use Parasite for himself, he's like doing what Parasite is doing, but with his own goals in mind. Is he still the same fraction as he was before, or is he now a Parasite creature? It's kind of interesting. I also trying to do this thing. I kind to with Rinri, I'm not trying to put him in any fraction. I kind of want him to be both parasitic as one of Lawless. I want him to be parasitic world of the. I want him to be Kyokai wurm. Kyokai Rinri. I kind of want to be ambiguous, so to what fraction they actually belong to. I again want him to regain his mind to be still Rinri. I kind of doing what Parasite are doing. Maybe with some self-control, because there is some goal he needs to do, and for this goal he's doing that. Okay, kinda, it's getting complicated. The world merger finally given some seeds. Enemies are learning about each other and they actually adapt to each other. I guess what's another thing I like about verses, kinda we can see evolution of people, adaptation of people. Because again, there's some enemies who their whole gimmick is that they're adapting, and we have some enemies who not the gimmick of adaptation, but you know, they're not morons who gonna be dummies. We're actually about to see some adaptation in different stages. You know, how they can be different stages of adaptation. But you know, in some cases, behavior is also a part of adaptation. Because I remember there was Indian elephant and African elephant, and these elephants have different sleep behavior. So it's like, adaptation in the mind is like the first stage of evolution. It was the simplest one. If we're gonna categorize evolution where the one will be probably be mental of adaptation, where your body doesn't change at all, but you know you adapt to the world you surrounded in. But the second one being where you actually have some body changes. Again, kind of think about how much body changes we're talking about. Maybe when you can hold your breath longer, because there are people in some village who work underwater so much that they actually learn how to hold the breath much longer. It could be a second type of adaptation where there's actually some physical changes. I guess we don't go too far. I guess the third one is capture where you'll be changing in the shape, coloration, pigmentation, and where you can actually be somewhat different than the idea where all the human species will split. Maybe when the split already will be stage 4 where the changes is bigger. I would say 3. And again, if you go further, it's kind of from further you can evolve to completely different creature where you maybe will be different families. And it's in case of evolution. I like evolution. I like think about evolution. Kinda many things of to see how creature will evolve is kinda interesting for me. Because Lawless is one of those creatures who evolve. They steal stuff. They experiment. They freaking use their evolve to run for the maximum potential. That's one reason why I like Lawless. How dealing with my thoughts properly? I think with my thoughts about the fraction and how they don't really exist or how they don't really matter, can maybe get too much confusing. Because I don't really say what I want to say. Because I think in this area a lot of people like really much care about the fraction. Or they try to separate fraction and it's like a fraction. It's a fraction war. But also there's a creatures who don't really give a shit about the fraction. Like a nature war doesn't know what the hell's going on. They're just doing whatever they're doing. Just they are part of this fraction, but also it's not a fraction which exists. It's not a fraction, just nature. It's nature happy. The things which go in nature normally just go in there in that world. So it's not like fraction war is going on. They're gonna kill each other. Because they were killing each other from the beginning. Nothing is gonna really change. You just put yourself into the war. Yeah, I guess also with Titan and with Lawless using other enemies for their advantage, like taming. Again, lots of people are saying Lawless gonna tame the wild animals, which is a possibility. Well, not taming, maybe mind controlling them because it's easier. And yeah, there was a lot of people talking about. I don't know, the fraction were getting complicated, maybe we should not really care about the fraction. Actually, a lot of people think that Lawless abandoned the boss and kinda start worshipping God. Which again, kinda in a way, they abandon the Lawless fraction and kinda team up with the God fraction. I guess it's gonna get complicated. The world is messed up and the story will be messed up. The architecture will be messed up. But about actually fused, it's now not like gonna be separate from each other. It's fused. It's gonna create a whole new world. So even like after a couple of years, the world merger will actually it's gonna to see the world merger stop it being a merger and it just the world you live in, like kind of apocalypse speaking. Like, you know, you were born in apocalypse, it's now just your normal world. For some people it's not a normal world, but for you it's like a normal world. And it's interesting to see in a couple of years if they can survive and adapt, and you know, some enemy will be weaker. The state they not as dangerous, but you know, still dangerous. I guess I don't really want to see a fraction dying. I don't really want to see a fraction losing. I just want to see them getting weaker to the state where humans can survive much easier. But kinda still to see this new world evolving. You know, all these things which exist in this world, they are still existing in this world. Like again, they're just gonna be. But now humans can like build settlements and you know, have a little adventure. Yeah, the Kyokai Rinri like verses. I freaking love it a lot. But other things I want to comment on. I mean, I never commented on the drawing. Man, okay, for this drawing I tried to. I imagine I already was talking about verses so much that I forgot that I was drawing actually. But I look at my drawings right now. So yeah, for this manga drawing, I tried to recreate the manga art style. And how good they are doing that? Not that good. I mean, I'm not very good at drawing comics, to be fair. It's a thing I don't do often, and because I don't do it often, I'm not that good at it. Like, I have flaws. Lots of flaws. One of my flaws is not... Okay, first of all, my main goal is kind of to be very close to the original art style. But I am not nailing it. I think there's lots of imperfection. Well, yeah, but not. If we can make an original sorted, it's kind of hard for me to find a nice way to draw his armor, or like putting in a position where I want it to be. It's kind of hard for me to do. And another things, I guess working with white things, because manga is black and white, and I guess I'm trying to work with black and white for the first time. And I don't really call it as much, but then it revealed that lots of things on behind which I have to erase, which again not so hard, but also I can see myself doing lots of errors or lots of mistakes. Now for other things, I guess just comics, books, placement, it's kind of also I think I'm not really good at or not able to nail. Maybe because I do this size of canvas, maybe I need to use some different one. Which uses genuine manga art style. Other things I want to comment on is what else? Oh yeah, freaking! I did some NPCs on the background. Actually, I want. Okay, so on the background I did find some who were fans. I kind of idea was he was gonna from the Disasteropolis, and there was some Neo-Terra person. The Neo person kind of being more visible with Disasteroid person. I kind of cut him. I make him hold pants and keep his leg moving, but I kind of cut him. Yes, I cut him a lot because man, I didn't see any characters. I kind of want to do them, but also I can't. But I didn't really have that to people because I kind of on the deadline, so I can maybe rush slightly. I got some characters. I kind of wanted to be looking at Rinri and being as creative Rinri, but I kind of decided not to do that, and I just make creative at all, kind of off the ground, maybe character just fall and they're looking at the Rinri. Other things I want to comment on. I did lots of this dodgy art style. Man, I grabbed one manga. Actually, I'm trying to look at it and not understand what is manga art style is, so how to do this proper manga illusion. And man, there was lots of things I never bloody noticed before. I mean, I'm talking about art style wise. It's the same thing which happened with Louis' face. It's kind of will be my main go-to how I don't really pay attention to art style or the details of the art style. How Louis have a face. I can look at Louis from American Dad if you can. And I think Louis from American Dad is kind of supposed to be my artwork. Not artwork, it's supposed to be things you recognize when I'm talking about it. Just how much often I actually bring it up. So yeah, Louis from American Dad is like my go-to example of how I totally pay attention to art style, and kind of an art style is like hit me to my surprise. Kind of how I never noticed that Louis from American Dad actually have a face. But he does have a face. It's kind of he's a human, so obviously I know he have a face. But actually seeing his face is kind of surprising. Not seeing his face, but like acknowledging his face is like surprising. So yeah, I grabbed one manga. I was reading it and checking it thoroughly and checking it goodly. Don't be surprised by all these details which I never really noticed are style wise. These tiny letters in Japanese, these bubbles on the some spot of the characters, that's why I did bubbles on some characters. This behind stuff, this other stuff which I never really pay attention to. Because it's kinda not really a character thing or like the story thing, just for artistic wise. Which my brain just shoot this out. Man, my brain have ability to tune things out. I don't really notice all lots of things. It's kind of again those liners, those dodges, things. I never really acknowledge them and I didn't really notice them. Also, I kind of learned now thinking that I maybe should draw image first and do these bubbles. Because kind of when I shrink the image, the bubbles become very hard to notice. So like I did these bubbles, I bloody shrink the image, they completely disappear. Because I think I maybe need to note that I need to first draw it, finish what I'm drawing, and then maybe start adding these details effect. I kind of will do this later. I still have to learn lots of things. To be fair, man, I don't really make comics. This comics doesn't really look that good. I think I'm very improved in my art style drawing. But for comics making, I'm still very much new. Well, because again, I can always do my characters in the steepest position. Like, you know how, oh man, just sheets. Character sheets. I can draw them in character sheets. Now, if I'm designing characters, I'm gonna showing how it's supposed to be looking. And then someone else is like drawing the movements and that stuff. I'm not really good at placing the characters in position. Like I have very shitty positioning of my characters. I'm not learning the position of them. Kinda, it's not really good at making comics. And kinda also when I'm making it, I think there's like a lot of titles which kind of way too different. Like I'm not able to recreate the same characters twice. There will be always micro differences. And then with placements, there kinda will be some imperfection. I guess really kinda will be the case with this one because I think one time I drew him nicely, other time he kinda looked weird there. But to be fair, I think in manga he was kinda look different. The first appearance he might look much younger. But that appearance he kinda fluctuation between being slightly aged to more final looking. I guess kinda reading was also not on the perfect level to constantly be drawing. Also accelerated, but then it's kinda also look different in many cases, so I don't really notice that as well. And yeah, here I'm doing some Japanese text, mostly I guess it's just whoosh, crash, and doing that. Other cases, how would we talk about? Oh man, I lost the third. Oh yeah, kinda, it's not really again to manga, but it's kind of the fact I maybe want to make more comics. I kind of have some idea for comics. Maybe I want to make more comics this. Yeah, maybe it's my evolution. Maybe I'm about to start making comics this. I kind of have Kyokai comics, which I kind of not doing right now. I will do him, but I have desire to do him. I have a lot of mind. But also I have some other ideas for my comics this. Maybe I will do comics more. Or maybe I want to evolve. Maybe I want to evolve my art style. I kind of start thinking that I'm start nailing the character design, the character movements, the building of the character. But for now, to placement them, it's the thing I'm stuck at. And now I'm kind of seeing that I'm stuck in it. Like placement or making it more realistic kind of things I'm stuck at. Maybe I will try to make more comics to practice, to learn how to do comics scenes. Maybe animation as well. I kind of have desire to make some animations. Simple animation. Now I learn how to design characters. Now I need to learn how to do something with them. I need to learn the secrets. Not secrets, I need to learn maybe some patience, maybe some better scheduling management. If I ever can actually learn how to do scheduling management. Yeah, but I need to learn to do that. Now if you don't really can tell what was going on, again I kinda said the mecha version is kinda saving these people, the chunk of flesh flying towards the guy, crashing him, dragging him, and then we're gonna leave him and kinda crush him. You don't really hit him getting crushed, but he kinda getting crushed there. Again, really turn around to look at Zeddy. It's kinda simple comics, but again, manga. Comics manga. And I think watching also the brick texture. And I kinda maybe learning lots of manga tricks which I didn't really acknowledge, but now I'm kinda learning them how they're doing the bricks, walls, these whole things. Sometimes characters look more goofy and more less details. I think I'm not so these manga tricks which they use. Maybe I need to actually try learning them more. So I can actually maybe learn how to actually do it nicely. I mean, watch some tutorials. I cannot do tutorials will be useless. I kind of think I need to figure out stuff on my own to actually do them, actually to learn them. And I think I'm very much type of person who learn only but to learn things himself. Because I think I can watch all the tutorials in the world, but you know, I never understand how it is when I actually do it myself. So I watch tutorials, I kind of just copying it, but not really understand what God's doing, what God is. Again, when I do it myself, I kind of realization, oh, so it does this, so if I do this like that, I can understand it. So it's kind of that's how I figure out and how I learn. I just figure out myself. That's the only way I can learn. By understanding what I'm doing. But also, what else? Trying to make it realistic. Okay, again, the whole goal was to try to be very realistic to one Arsenal as much as possible. Not one, it's kind of different guys, bro. I would never memorize his name. One is much easier to memorize because it's one. Oh, here, but I will not memorize. Probably for some example. Yeah, so with one art style, I kind of faced the same problem I faced before when I drew too much realistic characters. I drew way too much details. It's kind of the same thing I did with Crocky. Again, the first time I drew Crocky, I tried to catch every detail of the original Loki. Then I kind of decided to something in my life to keep some cute details and not do it too much. Because I will be super sick of doing it all the time. Kind of trying to come up with a super original design, but also not the one which gonna overkill it. Sadly, I think what's my no. With some characters I create, I can easily create them again. I don't have much details to be too much details. But with some characters I kind of will be pain in the ass. And some characters will be pain in the ass to do. So one thing I want to comment on is I think I'm out of the things I want to say. Just trying to do some things. Trying to play with my white and grays, because manga is supposed to be black and white. And plus we don't really know the colors of all the characters. I mean, kind of with Mecha Origins we know the suit is white with blue, which I never bloody expect them to be blue. I can just expect them all to be metallic color. But no, there's actually some blues there. Hey, magic of manga, you don't really know what colors your characters are, because also it doesn't really translate that much. And as for other things, lots of blacks. Man, the reason I have lots of blacks comes for me to figure out how to do. Okay, I think in the original one, how it hit in the original one. I think for the original one there was some color play and there was some extra color and maybe the color kind of had this extra coloration. I kind of maybe did not do the same thing. Although if I drawing the colors, it kind of was more color like the short, which have this one. It was complicated for me to make. And for my characters, I kind of decided to do something simpler. I guess I kind of save it by doing what I usually do. Instead of fully blackness, I did the liner with some colors. The liner would have some coloration. Instead of white, which I do with the holder, I decided to go for slightly lighter color of black. Actually pretty good, and actually I use for the holder as well. Now for this one, okay, it's supposed to be this illusion of the soldier just fastly moving his legs. If Kaja nailed it, I have no idea. For me it look fine, for you have no idea, maybe it could be better. Plus I think it's kinda sad by the fact it's in black and white, so I don't really need to color it. And the black side did white. Man, like I would say honestly, the Mecha Ordnance armor is so bloody complicated and bloody annoying. You can try to figure out how to do it in different places and different forms, it's kinda big pain in the ass. But drawing the suit in the first time, again, so much detail, so much complication, it's kinda a little much simpler. Maybe I can make it bloody simpler, I don't need to exactly create it. I just have to catch the idea. Because let's be honest, bloody hell, I think maybe one doesn't, well, not one, that guy whose name I don't remember, because so much names people have. Why people have names? Why cannot I just all create some original nickname for themselves, which so much easier to remember, so short and so to the point. That he really nicked himself a bloody awesome nickname. Doesn't really do that often, I figured out maybe from the distance or maybe somewhere a certain point will be like either bloody on the top one, and for the rest of the appearance it just will be legs. Which kind of have blackness and metallic part, but also kind of struggling to position properly. I'm struggling to position my characters. I don't really play with characters positioning or body perspective. I kind of feel like whenever I draw something, it's always on the same frame. And when I'm trying to move it, I kind of where the fusions come to. I need to bloody make more comics. It's maybe like focus on the comics making, kinda. I learn how to make comics and actually learn how to do better positioning by myself. Might even be something to, I don't know, like, I kind of learn what tutorials are not interesting and I didn't know name it. So not interesting in it. I need to like figure out on my own, like to feel it natural. But here I'm drawing Zebi, or Rinri. Zebi, he'll be named drawn but not appear. Here I'm drawing Rinri who, that's why I take a parasite reference image where kind of body, from this body like chunk of flesh is popping out. That's like what I did. Whenever there's like going to be ring, first it's like white, and there's going to be bubbles ripping from the flesh, and kind of the flesh contents will stay on the bubble. You kind of pressing the bubble to create another bubbles. Like one big bubble. The flesh kind of string on this bubble, creating some dents in this bubble, and some opening of the skin. Plus I did these bubbles in the eyes. Kind of the whole point of the ring, the eye being infected. I kind of think that will focus on the eyes. And the tip kind of would be like the whole face will turn to parasite, and the tips like staying on this mid part. He kind of just Zebi have his messed up teeth, and kind of he have the teeth just stuck on this piece of flesh, which kind of spread around because the mouth is just completely disappearing. I mean, he kind of have a hole, but the mouth is completely disappearing. You can see the tips like roots and tips like crackiness and that stuff. Out of man, I did such a good job, but not good, but I did such a job in making sure the tips are cracked. And I have some extra liners on there. But man, when I shrink the image, the blood disappears. So all this job I did was for nothing. Nothing, I'm telling ya. The way it's my specialty. They'll do lots of crazy details in the comics. And I just hide them behind the bubble. Like I did this detail for bloody nothing. I bloody hid this behind the bubble, the text bubble. And you bloody will not see it ever. And yeah, I do that a lot. And I'll say Rinri face kind of was complicated for me to make. I think I didn't really nail it. I kinda nailed it, it depends on the angle. From this angle, I don't know. Didn't have interesting hair. I also think every time he's drawn, I kinda think they are different place. It's kind of drawing imperfection. I think Curve will talk about this a lot, how you draw the same thing, but there will be some imperfections. And that's kind of what I'm dealing with imperfection. Just my imperfections are very big and easy noticed. Because I'm not that experienced with web, I have zero experience with stuff. I'm not that good at drawing. But also I did some whites in his hair. Okay, kinda Rinri has some whites in his hair, which sometimes disappears and he have just purely black hair. But since I appear to have some whites, maybe for the effect, I kinda always hit him with some whites in his hair. But now I'm kinda thinking about it, man, I should use different brush. I think I use my lasso and just butter tool. I think I actually must be using some brush which kinda will imitate the paint brush. And that's totally something I must be doing. It's like, but I was kinda just doing Rinri like his head popping up and like just this parasitic flesh, his belly kinda tanning and stretching but kinda still keeping the skin. And just his whole arms is just these noodles and just like he had no bones. Like he had parasite. But other stuff, yeah, kinda one, this one cool. He was kinda turning look cool. I don't know, really look cool. I would say he looked cool in my drawing. But kinda my problem that he doesn't look consistent. I think his consistency kinda in question. Maybe I very struggle to put him in different position. But for other stuff I'm comment on is oh yeah, man, how did people react to my art? Well, I uploaded on my Twitter, zero response, on Instagram, some response, but I think it was bots. I think Instagram kind of struggling with bots right now. I think I have lots of those bots who are sexy babes, who probably are not real at all. DeviantArt, no response to DeviantArt. And Reddit, people said it was nice. Okay, kinda, I said I did something very pathetic, it kind of said, yeah, I'm not really good at manga style, but my best attempt. Well, something close to that one. But obviously, because I said this, I think people noticed it firstly. They start pumping me up to continue, to not give up. Which, again, maybe it was not for the good one. Maybe I should not say anything. That way people react a lot more honestly. When they react honestly, I kinda like it. I kinda said that was decent. Also, there were some people who make a theory that they want this ring to be alive and kinda be the second antagonist. Kinda walking slowly, kinda absorbing these things involved. Yeah, that's my dream too. I don't kinda, I would say honestly now I'm thinking about different plot. I kinda thinking maybe I really like stand up and kinda just grab this parasite and pull it out of his eyes and even he actually taking the pills. I kinda think about this possibility now. Or maybe really just die. I don't know, I kinda think maybe I'm capping and kinda giving Lost too much credit to them. Not that too much, but also I pledge about Lost. I want to pledge that. But they're gonna live, it's just gonna be different fraction now. It's kinda the chance of Kyokai will fall, or probably just be other new management, maybe like Gisangi or other. This Gisangi, this name is so confused. It's a big chaotic brother, the horny one maybe will survive and kinda I'm now a lady of the laws because of how they function. But he kinda dumb. Maybe he's much smarter than he look. Kinda said very smart things in the end of the chapter. That's more of him be pretending and captain. I will see. I really need to think about him. Maybe Go will take place. I don't know, I kinda think about the replacement of the different law structure. I mean, there's like 7 evil. I think the other 7 evil will be much better than Kyokai. I kinda think about law fraction which could be. I think they were supposed to represent 7 evils. 7 deadly sin. With Kyokai either being greed or envy, but there's also some people who have suggested that could be gluttony. I think there will be fraction which would be rough. And I kinda see this fraction as the laws who cybernetically fashion themselves, plus they use steroids to make themselves as like the strongest human possible. You kinda think about those laws who gonna fight someone and kinda prove them that they're much stronger. Maybe like demon executives. Demons like stronger demons who are not demon lords. Kinda be surprised by how humans can be this strong while under human either chemical and mechanical enhancement. Just away from the flow with them. Kinda demons taking over W, kinda learning that their world is dangerous now. And like the boss will be someone who like use super advanced drugs who even increase his size. I kinda think about this one. Also I kinda think about those who use parasitic weapons. Because man, they are gonna use parasitic weapons. Like okay, parasite is dangerous, but man, it's a good weapon. Like I'm thinking about them using like human hostages, just put the brain tick on them, make them run to the enemy base. They like infected with parasite and they just drink the Yggdrasil essence to power themselves with powering juices and I just saw into a mega wurm to attack with whatever enemy they have. That's totally what Lawless gonna do. Just give them time and another they learn. It's dangerous weapon of evolution. They learn, they adapt. Just like robots, if you don't kill them in time, they're gonna become too strong. That's the thing. They become too strong, too powerful, too goddamn OP. So if you don't deal with them in time, it's gonna be bad. Such what to cup. That's on the comment. Yeah, kind of my favorite faction is kind of going through some struggles, and I kind of really want to see them win. And I like Lawless. I would explain why I like them. They're creative. They're gonna be creative to be powerful. Because it says an enemy faction. That had the Titans was amazing thing to see. I guess it's just enemies who stronger. Again, the one set was very unbalanced. Oh yeah, he's not freaking drawing this freaking effect behind them, but also realizing that I didn't color the characters. So yeah, I need to color the characters white to make sure you can see them. But also the white color can be slightly messed up because the lines get thinner and thinner. But I'm gonna copy the layer and make sure it gets thicker and good. Yeah, see, right here. Actually, I'm just doing this line as a line I need only. Because it's a thing I want to do, but don't really do much of it. I think I should bloody. Nah, I'm still gonna shrink. And again, nothing much to say here. Oh yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just some dumb things I was doing. I asked AI to freaking take my art and make it more realistic. He said I'm not gonna do it in bloody. Yes, Flash is bulging up. I used the not this one, but the next one. This one? Nah, he still have to chop his head. I did the one which he look at Zabi and say Zabi, which will be for the future. But you know, if you go to my social media, you can see it right now. I did that one, asked her to make it realistic, and he said I'm not gonna do it because the dude tips and flashes bulging up. The dude, no, you f***ed up, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I asked him to do it on sci-fi. He actually did nice drawing where cannot just add him with multiple eyes and no tips. And also, then asked him to do it in Lego style. Then I remember asking, yeah, we have a cover and asked him to do it in Lego, and then I remember, maybe I will show it to you as well. I'll show you, yeah. Maybe not. Do I do it or not? Did it create a agency? It did. Maybe at the end I will show you. I'm not uploading those though. Yeah, so this one is kinda look nice, it's Zabi looking towards Rinri because it's Rinri looking towards Zabi because Zabi is still there. It is twisting his head around to look at him. And do I freaking show you my... I will show you, don't worry. Maybe we'll take a screenshot and actually upload it on my... right now. Yeah, so this one where Zabi kinda looking at I confusing names, kinda really looking at Zabi. He look actually pretty nice. I would say he look amazing. But I kinda think that he does put around, it's kinda make he but become uglier. But kinda man, Zrinda is kinda beautiful and ugly. In the first appearance he look much younger. Sasuke like does this position like he look badass and cute and that stuff. But Sasuke does look creepy. Because maybe he have up tips and like, you know, not in best shape of his world. Because I remember doing like he have a lot of hair on his hair. But because now he have a bulge and parasite, I kinda did this hair being on top of this bulge. I just kinda also remember doing him lots of eyes. I think one of my ideas was to give him multiple eyes. Because that's kinda the thing that happened with parasite as well. He developed multiple eyes. But I kinda felt maybe give him eyes which kinda get him sunk into the flesh. I think because I want to do him like a hole, which I think I did this even, maybe I did not. Also, yeah, doing minimalistic tip less. I guess again they're gonna be shrinking down. Maybe I use a brush texture instead of this one. What else I want to say? Not too much, again, kind of running on my thoughts. Maybe I could make this video a little faster. Maybe I can... Yeah, I cannot. What the hell said I cannot? Come on, I have not much to say. Can I say about more issues? I'm not gonna upload... I have no idea. I can maybe have some idea for what Rinri will do. I really hope him become a parasite, maybe like suck some Lawless in, and just change God, and God kind of shoot him, and then just touch the attack, or like splits himself apart, and they will get this. You're able to kill Gisangi, Gyoto, whatever the guy name was, and because he was a moron who didn't know his own place. But I'm the smart boss who able to utilize the power of Parasite to the full potential. But man, it's kind of also interesting that the wurm did nothing to try to save itself. It can just accept the fate. Well, the wurm is kind of a creature with ability to shapeshift. Hell, when he was stopped by the fog, he can just become more liquidy and just pull back from the fog. Or just drop this piece which was grabbed and keep yourself safe. Like lose track of yourself, but saving your whole self. Maybe Rinri will be first who will utilize the parasite to its full potential, like have this, how can I even say it? Know how to use parasite. Like use its power to dash attack of the fire and that stuff, suck some of your own men and grab multiple arms and just fire your weapons. Maybe we kind of get to see that, like strong parasite versus weak parasite. So again, we're kind of getting that. We're kind of getting the comparison of the weakest member of the fraction fighting the stronger fraction, and then the stronger fraction fighting the weakest fraction. Can get with aliens. We're gonna get it. We're gonna see the fraction war. We're gonna see what the weakest one can do. We're gonna see what the strongest one can do. You're gonna get this small ladder of strength. We see what weakest Lawless can do. We're gonna see what strongest Lawless can do. Even the parasite. What the hell gonna strong Lawless with parasite do against big? It's gonna be much closer together again. I guess it's again because I don't really know what hell Rinri's side will be when he become a parasite. Will be still leader of the Lawless, or will be parasitic wurm? Or do I no, what the hell would I want? I want Rinri to be alive, but also I can't want him to still be the leader of the Lawless. I gotta give Lawless some of those good L's. No, L's is freaking W's. Lawless already have some L's. I want to have some good chunk of W's. I already have a good chunk of W's. I actually remember going to Discord and kinda commenting with people. Oh, how many wins does Lawless have? And it's kind of will be... how many wins will it be? Because of... Actually, first they kill a parasite, it's a win. Then they attack the humans and they kind of surrender because humans tricked them. But it was not really a fight. Does it count or does it not count? They kind of return and start fighting them, which will be the win for them. No, I will count it as a win. If they fight them. I'm not counting the hero and giant because they would trick them. There was not really a fight. There was just sneak attack. And then we have them versus the bear, who both takes some out and win. And then Rinri killed him, so it will be 3 wins. Then we start sucking because the parasite come up and we lose against him. Come the best crowd for a couple. Like, how many wins lose have? Maybe can't the one when they retreat. So if they continue fighting it would be. But I guess to be safer. Oh yeah, here I'm doing... No, okay, I cannot crop the cheats here. Okay, maybe the cheats, the one that is white look not so good. Or because I'm not a good artist. Which I think I need to acknowledge. But yeah, I can't be overkilled with chips here. I don't know, it's kinda hard to draw it. It's manga, it's realistic, it's not that realistic. But it's art which I'm not very good at. I actually once thought about making. Like, I have a bunch of comics idea, and I kind of thought maybe I can take some of those comics and turn them into manga. And I kind of think which way of my comics I can use, I can turn into manga. And I need to learn to do manga. Because I can put manga was much easier because you don't need to color it. But now it's complicated, and any work is bloody complicated. I need to learn how to simplify my work and still make sure they look good. I need to learn that. I think I need to master for blood to be painful. Not that painful. And I can remember seeing some articles and some other works, and I can remember seeing the, I guess Nerd and Jerk kind of was the case where they have white backgrounds, they kind of just patch of grass, but they walk in, but most of the background is white. You know, you don't do too much details, it's kind of free, saving some room or space for some stuff. I think I need to learn how to draw things which are only important. I can easily draw a bunch of things which have zero body importance, but I can just overkill it a lot. And again, I can easily draw lots of stuff which will be overkilling it, and also which you will not want to see it. And I say I draw lots of things which in my comics, I totally draw some things which I then will hide. It kind of takes bub. I bloody do that a lot. And it's not for my thumbnails. I often do some comics text for my thumbnail and I hide good chunk of it can make. Man, I can't need to strategize more to like realize what I'm gonna hide, what I'm gonna keep. Not to draw details which I will be hidden. Yes, that's kind of become pointless then. And there's lots of things I need to realize or learn to organize. So just maybe I'll let post comment on that. Maybe it's kind of my brain is not capable of learning that. Maybe I just need to go and then let's go and I create something. But yeah, really messed up hair. Man, in the second one I did, he looked much handsomer. This one, he looked more creepy. I can kind of say that earlier. Rinri is a master of all lots of worlds. He's got his creepy. He able to put a human disguise. Other things, yeah, I'm totally drawing making him white now because I know I'm gonna do some of this weird section behind. Play with my brushes, which I did. I can play with my brushes because I know this dirty effect for manga. If I'm ever gonna, I probably will do it again. Maybe not on this level. If I ever draw manga, will I draw manga? What the chance of actually making manga? What the chance of actually making a comics? I don't have a comics, I'm not really working on it. Almost because I kinda see it as just one project on the side. I'll say again, it's not like a work of my whole life. My work of my whole life is yet not to exist. Or if it exists, it's just my whole channel. It's my work of my life. My channels. And hoping that they will succeed. Oh wait, is that actually I did? Oh no, I actually did die. It's kinda, you forgot that he's there. There's like a little bit, in the splash there's like a black part. That's supposed to be his eye. Just getting sucked in by the bulging flesh. But yeah, for other things. I also get some text, put the text and kinda do this manga versus manga text box of information. It's just kinda the Hero Academia thing to do. What else can I say? Nothing much. I don't have much to say. Yeah. Okay, so Lawless is kinda Lawless is much bluer because it's much smaller, but the parasitic one is much brighter because it's much bigger. But that's kinda all I have. So yeah. Legendary final version. Oh, I will actually enough because I didn't. Oh yeah, also I think I never bring up that the fact I tried to do it in manga with text that you need to read from right to left. I would say it's maybe kind of hard to tell if you're supposed to read in this order. Because kind of with the first panel, oh yeah, I was kind of placed in not, yeah, right now you saw in which order I drew it and which order it must be told. So again we have the soldier who set free the prisoners, the hand come crushing him. Kind of, man, it's kind of from left to right to right again. Maybe I need to put it high so you can tell it's a part of the same panel, but it's kind of in the middle. Then I kind of have the second one where the soldier is being dragged and then you kind of said, I guess you kind of maybe can tell in which order it must be going because kinda you kinda need to understand what the hell is going on. Like Rinri grabbing the soldier and looking this way, it's obviously coming in that order. Again, with Rinri saying Zabi just one panel. You could do more extra work there. I forgot work there. Yeah, but maybe I need to put numbers. Maybe it kind of overcomplicates me. Maybe I just need to put the panels on the same level. And okay, it's another thing. I think I'm leaving too much open space. I think the boxes must be much closer to each other and nicely placed. But I think when I do that, it's kind of get you thinking I need to do something with layers. I try that. No, I don't have that. But yeah, that's kind of what the hell is happening there. Yeah, there's still much to learn. comic placement is also one of the things I need to learn. Because it's so much things going on. But there's not much can say. Do I show my art of AI? Yeah, sure, why not? But I need to get it first. Yeah, so here like a bunch of AI stuff I asked my ChatGPT to do. So where I take my original drawing and ask him to be realistic and then Lego. And I did the same thing with the cover for 6th volume. So yeah, so we have the realistic one where graphic hair, kinda too flat, but also I think it's kinda doing proper in the live action. If him beard for some reason, will not beard for that shaviness. Instead of being happy, he's more shocked and again that because he can freaking do the parasite budget from the flash and that stuff, he just do it more elegant. Which kind of just does fusing, but also kind of feel like it's just on top, and a bunch of whites in different positions. But so yeah, I know people like hate AI, but also let me just have some little bit fun. But man, he did text. Did he actually just a mistake on his text, or like the text is like flawless? The text is like flawless. The images of the Lawless and the Parasite is kind of screwed up, that he can copy. But the text, I think, freaking nailed it. And the Lego version where he kind of received some scars, he kind of did this, some color on his face. The hair messiness, the parasite eyes, low enough, but kind of the same parasite. Give him like childish leg, but I guess because I can't get only this part of the body, so you kind of filled the gap with the Lego figure and other stuff. Honestly, not so bad. And there's also I did the cover of the volume 6 and I did the AI version where lots of characters get cut. Zabi turned into swordman middle-aged guy. I don't remember the technical girl name, but kinda close. Naisha turned into Indiana Jones and random characters who just the random characters there. And Rinri become much younger. He's now a Satanist because he wearing the star pink. It's actually Satanism with some other thing. That's kinda cool devilish thing. He actually look much younger and kinda look like a Percy Jackson character. You keep it his red eyes. I think there's supposed to be shadow and covering here, but also it's kinda nailed the hair. Man, people talk about the AI getting good, and I kinda see what the hell they mean. I'm kinda not that good, but also it's getting his heads pretty close. I don't know if his ear though. I think it's the kind of some riggings there, protection of there. It's clean, his ear's not damaged. And then the Lego film where the beard got cut on this guy, had some extra guy there. Man, the female character having the female character thing that going on. That's actually, man, AI is getting good. Because he did this leg of females having the slender waist in a figurine. He did that. I'm surprised he actually did that. I think usually, not usually, how do I use AI and how can I ask him to make females of the characters? Not that often to be fair. I think it's kind of screwed up the Japanese letters there. Yeah, it's got the wrong Japanese letters. Also, it's kind of always something different there. No, but it's got the letters in. Okay, so the second one, realistic one, get the Japanese letter wrong for this, which goes to Rinri. But the Rinri is gonna get on the Lego version correct words. Also, same shape with Indiana Jones. The Rinri kind of look the same thing, but he become more of the zombie, I guess, because his eyes kind of black in there, and kind of towards blackening there. It actually look pretty decent. I was surprised. But yes, sorry for showing you AS loss, but you know, I did it. It looked interesting and I decided to show it to you. I mean, I'm not posting this anywhere, especially for you who watch my YouTube channel. I did the AI version, let's compare it. But there's not much I can say. So this was GPDP. Hope you enjoyed this gameplay, this drawing project. Gameplays will be later. Not have to upload gameplays today. So this will be today on the actual day which I'm recording this video. But for this one it's gonna be later. Yeah, so this was nice drawing project. I mean, need to improve my manga drawing skill, comics drawing skill, and actually I have some ideas of how to what to do next with those one. Maybe we'll make some animation, who knows. But so I hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. Till then, spin. Bye. I mean, I'm not much can say for this one. For Patreon shoutouts, I wanna do it for gameplay channel, reaction channel, where I upload this. Become delayed, but it's still more frequent. And there's not much can be said, so have a nice day, roll me spin, bye.